Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Middle and High School Chorus Professional Learning Community on the Georgia Department of Education platform. This platform was created for educators to collect, collaborate, and support one another. Be sure to set up your notifications to your liking and check back to engage in discussion as often as you wish. Please share this platform with your colleagues so that we may continue to grow and share beneficial information specific to middle and high school choral education. The more colleagues active yields more opportunities for us to share and grow from one another. I'm Brandy Dent, and I will be your virtual PLC lead for middle and high school chorus. The webinar today's topic will be about teaching students to match pitch, teaching rhythm, as well as tips for field trip planning. In this webinar, you're going to get some amazing best practices from some choral educators all over Georgia. Thanks to Joy Dumas at Perry High School, Katie Holloway for Academy for Classical Education, Justin Miller at Lamar County High School Band and Chorus, Samuel Potts, Rona Robbins High School, Cynthia Richmond, Crisp County Middle School, happy retirement to you, and Misty Wilcox at Jones County High. We hope you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Justin Miller, and I'm the Band and Choral Programs Director at Lamar County High School. I've been asked by a fellow colleague to answer a few questions about some different teaching methods that I use in my programs.
Hi, I'm Joy Dumas. I am the choir director at Perry High School, and I have about 22 years experience teaching chorus at this point in my life.
Hello, my name is Samuel Potts, and I'm the chorus director at Warner Robins High School in Warner Robins, Georgia.
Hi, my name is Catherine Holloway, and I work for Georgia Academy for the Blind, state schools, and I teach K through 12.
Cynthia Richmond Middle School Chorus.
For rhythm strategies, for teaching rhythm for my visual impaired students, I use a lot of numbers. I use time signature, making sure that they understand that, and we use a metronome a lot. It's a lot easier. The motions of doing a beat is kind of lost on them because they are visually impaired. Because of that, I start with chord notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and a, and that really helps them, as well as some auditory will help them too. And at the same time, I'm teaching music braille, so they have to be able to type these.
I always present rhythm to my students as a puzzle, and it is our job as musicians to figure out how the different puzzle pieces fit into each measure. And so the very first thing that I always do is I teach the basic note values at the beginning of the semester: half note, whole notes, quarter notes. And so then when students see these different note values in the literature, then it's understood that we have already practiced these type of notes, and so they're familiar with them, and they could recognize them very quickly. And then we don't have to spend so much time on teaching how many beats a quarter note or a half note or a whole note gets. And so then you come to the more complex rhythms where you have some eighth notes and some 16th notes. And so most times what I'll do when I see rhythms and measures that will give my students a headache or some issues, I most times try to isolate those measures and put them in our warm-up. And so students can come in each morning and they'll analyze the warm-up and write down the different beats where the note values fall. And so then we discuss it. We'll speak it out loud. And I always love to include an element of body percussion, whether it's clapping, tapping on your leg, or tapping on your shoulder, so that then I understand that students are feeling where the note values and how the rhythm falls in comparison to the downbeat in each measure. And so I'm just reinforcing that touch reinforcing students, making sure that they understand the basic note values, and then isolating those more complex rhythms, and so that when we see it in the warm-up, then we can apply it into the music. And then also, once we master it in the warm-up and also in the literature, then showing students when we have it again that, hey, that rhythm is just like how the one we practiced in the warm-up. And so they're able to recognize and see and hear and also demonstrate the basic rhythms and then even the more complex ones with practice.
Cynthia Richmond Middle School Chorus. When I am teaching rhythms, I always have the students feel it in their bodies first. We do all kinds of echo rhythms with patting, clapping, snapping, and patching. Echo saying the rhythm, doing, just make sure they can actually feel it in their body and are very comfortable with the rhythm before I show them what the rhythm looks like. I'll especially do a lot of rhythm games where we pass them down the line. This one student, I'll clap a rhythm, and to a student, they'll pass it to the next person, et cetera, et cetera. We do a lot of rhythm games before I show them what the rhythm is. I very much believe in subdivision of pitch, so I make sure they understand subdivision of rhythm, so I make sure they understand quarter note pulse, and then we very quickly move into eighth note pulse and the subdivision of the rhythm.
My top tip for teaching rhythm: each year I start off my students with kinesthetic learning when it comes to rhythm. So a walk is a quarter note, side step is a half note, runs are eighth notes. We use a shush for a quarter rest, howdy ma'am for half rest because it looks like a top hat, things like that. If you can get the rhythm into the large muscle groups of their body, they can be very successful very fast. At the end of 10 minutes of instruction, they're reading rhythms accurately, and that encourages them to keep going. And it's something that once we switch into a different method of reading rhythm involving numbers and such, we can always go back and remind them what this would be with the kinesthetic motions. I got that from Judy Spears, who was my supervising teacher when a student taught way back when at Decula High School. But I always like her to credit her with that idea, and it has worked very well for me over the years.
When I teach rhythm, the district that I'm at does not have a middle school choir program. So when I teach rhythm, we do start from scratch. I like to start with the eighth note and teach the subdivision at the very beginning. I know there's some students who have already been taught quarter notes for piano or guitar maybe, or a band instrument, orchestra instrument, but usually those children can assimilate to the eighth note pretty quickly. I like the analogy of the pizza because a pizza usually comes in 8 slices, and you can draw a very quick graphic for a pizza and show them a whole pizza, a half a pizza, a quarter of a pizza, and an eighth of a pizza. And then I quickly transfer it to a staff grid and show them a whole, half, quarter, and eighth. I also like to use a transcription tool like Finale or MuseScore to show them the passing time as the notes go by. And that's how I like to teach rhythm.
Hello, it's Sam again, and in this video I'll be talking about how I help students who struggle with rhythm. I think it's very important that students are able to feel the beat physically, being able to tap a rhythm or feel a rhythm rather than just counting a rhythm or counting a beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. It can be pretty challenging for students who've never had musical training before. And so start where the students can feel the rhythm and work from there. A lot of students actually struggle keeping a rhythm. They struggle with keeping a rhythm and then doing something else at the same time. So, they'll be able to tap a quarter note really easily, but then once you have them start singing or playing the piano at the same time, they struggle keeping that rhythm. So I think it's important to work in baby steps. Some of my piano students who struggle with rhythm, we'll be sitting there tapping a beat together, and we'll just have a conversation. And just very easy things like that to get them to get their brains to where they're able to multitask, keep a beat, and do something else at the same time. It's very important to feel the beat, and again, students who struggle with it, A lot of times I'll play a recording of a rhythmic song, something that's upbeat that has drums in it or something like that, to where there's a very clear beat in the music, and I'll ask the student to tap the rhythm of the song, or tap the some sort of subdivision, whether it's the eighth note or the quarter note or the whole note, half note, some equal subdivision of a beat that the students can feel. That typically seems to be a good starting point for rhythm as well. I hope these strategies have been helpful. Thank you.
This video could not have been made possible without the help of choral educators like you and mine. I want to give a special thanks to Joy Dumas, Catherine Holloway, Justin Miller, Samuel Potts, Cynthia Richmond, Misty Wilcox, and all of the choral educators for all of your input. We really appreciate you.